So it looks like it has finally started. The new series within the Dragon Ball saga has just been released on Sunday. Yeah, there is a reason why a lot of us didn't know about this. Not saying that a good bit of chunk of people didn't know about this, especially the Japanese crowd, which is this is the only place that it's airing. But Dragon Ball Super is a TV series that's continuing the long-running and long-awaited continuation of Dragon Ball Z. It's been about 20 years since the original airing of the series, not counting the US airing, just going from the original Japanese syndication airing. So, I saw the first episode finally on Sunday, and what do I think about it? I almost shedded a tear, man. I really did. This was, oh man, it's so good to see Goku and them back in syndication, although it seems like the episodes might be a little bit silly. Okay, so, for those of you that don't know, for all 2% of you that don't know what Dragon Ball Super is, Dragon Ball Super is the continuation of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, of course, franchise, continuing the Dragon Ball storyline. It takes place some time after Majin Buu and also the time period after both the Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods movie and Resurrection F movie. So it's the whole Super Saiyan God thing, Super Saiyan God 2, you know, you guys heard about, it's still here. Besides the intro, there's not much mention about it. Actually, if anything, the only thing they keep referencing in the first episode is just the Majin Buu battle, and that's about it. Although Beerus from Battle of the Gods actually shows up at one point, and of course he's just freaking fantastic. But anyway, yeah, so this is, I guess, supposed to be a replacement for Dragon Ball GT in a way, because Dragon Ball GT, for those of you who don't know, like I said, all 2%, Dragon Ball GT is not canon. What does that mean? Well, according to Xenoverse, it actually takes place in another alternate universe where this stuff could have possibly happened. Like, it was just another possible timeline. And that's a good way of putting it. But at the same time, if you really want to go with, like, the lore of Dragon Ball, GT never even happened. Okay, so it'd be best to go with the whole Xenoverse scenario, saying that it's just like an alternate version of what will happen in the Dragon Ball timeline. And what makes this series so special is not only is it canon being that it actually follows the lore of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but it's actually written by Akira Toriyama, who's also doing, of course, the manga with it alongside it, as well as working on the animated series. So with him coming back and writing for it and him introducing all these new stuff, these new mechanics here, you can be sure that this is going to be an interesting ride for me as far as watching this series. I don't know if I'm going to really review it. Like, I'm talking about episode 1 here, and this is not really much of a review. I might actually call this video something else. To be honest, I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I was actually going to say that this is a review of episode 1, but this isn't really much of a review because there's not much to review in this. This is just sort of getting out the word that Dragon Ball has a new series, and a lot of people didn't know that it aired on Sunday. Of course, you know, unless you're on the internet a lot, and I swear, not until last night I actually came across this on a very well put together website, which is just fantastic for any animated fan. Whether it's American cartoons or anime, you know, this website is fantastic for it. It basically has literally everything. For some reason, it doesn't have all of the Gundam series, which is pretty odd for an anime website to not have something related to like the older Gundam series. But anyway, those are freaking classics, man. But Dragon Ball Super is up here, and it looks like it's going to be available every Sunday. This episode actually comes on at 9 a.m. every Sunday during Japan's time, so, you know, possibly, you know, a day after us. So every Sunday, I guess I have another show to watch. Yeah, let me add this show onto a pile of other shows I already have. Now, a lot of my friends have been, well, a couple of my friends has been saying, you know, watch something like, they want me to watch some of the newer animes because I mostly stick to the older shows. Like, I do watch Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, but those are like reality-based shows, you know, with live action. It's live action, so there's real people in it. Not too many of the animes I usually watch a lot. There are some modern day shows that I watch. You know, I review the My Little Pony series. I've also talked about The Amazing World of Gumball. I have talked about Adventure Time on a number of occasions. And Avatar, The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, you know, I love those shows. But with anime, there hasn't really been much of a appeal to me as far as the modern day anime goes. Besides Naruto, every once in a while, even then I might fall off and I'll miss, I think I literally miss like 15 to 20 episodes now, if it's still going, because I know I finished the manga. I know the manga's done. I already talked about that. It was an awesome ending. So, and I don't really watch the movies, although I think I am going to start watching, I think, what was the last Naruto movie called? The Last Chapter or something like that? Anyway, it's, it takes place after the manga, or it takes place during the time between the manga or something like that. Anyway, that one's canon. So if there's like a canon part of, that follows the Naruto lore, I will follow it. But besides Naruto, it's not really any modern anime I watch. True, I try watching something like Attack on Titan or Fairy Tail, and it's not for me, guys. It's just, it isn't for me. My friend has recommended Attack on Titan to me multiple times, actually. And my other friend has recommended Fairy Tail to me, I think even more. I at least got through one episode of Fairy Tail, and I can at least say it's good, but it's not for me. I don't really care for the characters that much. With Attack on Titan, I just don't really care for that world. I was kind of bored with it in the first episode, and my friend would tell me, "Oh, dude, you know, you gotta watch more. You can't just watch like the first episode and just be like that. You know, it picks up later on." And I really hope so. I'll possibly give it another chance, but right now, no, there's not really any definite anime. I really watch mostly the old stuff. Like I said, the Gundam series I usually watch, like the older Dragon Ball stuff, and a number of other animes, Outlaw Star, Ranma, you know, a number of other animes like that I watch, but these are like 80s and 90s / early 2000s animes, or possibly even early 2000s. I think like 1999 it ends up like, that's like my cutoff date, 1999. So now finally I have a newer anime to watch, even though it's just a continuation of an older anime. So that's kind of getting me off the hook there. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm watching a newer anime. Well, what is it? It's the Dragon Ball series. Okay, that's a continuation of an older anime. But Dragon Ball, you know, it's back on the rise, and it had a little downtime for a while with some really lame-ass games, and I think once Xenoverse and stuff started coming out, I think after Tenkaichi 3, Dragon Ball Z kind of died down a little bit, especially over here in the States. But I think once, like I said, Xenoverse came out, and Battle of the Gods came out beforehand, and then Resurrection F and everything, Dragon Ball Z started getting back on the rise. And that was really smart of them, of Toei Animation, to, which I can't show clips from the first episode here. I do not want this video to get flagged. But that was really smart of them to sort of like pitch these new movies and video game that was actually good, in order for people to get like, okay, yeah, you know, get back into the Dragon Ball Z spirit. You know, I'm feeling like how I felt when I watched it on Toonami all those years ago. And here's the thing, we have Toonami back, right? I don't watch any of the animes on the newer Toonami, they're not really interesting to me. If there are some older ones, like, I think Inuyasha The Final Act is up there. They finally did an English version of it, but to be honest, I already seen it in Japanese, and I saw the ending, so I'm kind of done with Inuyasha now. If they show any older animes, that's fine. I kind of already have them. Yu Yu Hakusho, I already have. That was on Toonami. But if Toonami's back, this show should be on fucking Toonami. We need a US release for Dragon Ball Super. It begs having a US release for this show. And it's so disappointing that I have to rely on watching it online. Not to say that the quality I'm watching it in is bad. It's fantastic quality. Still, I haven't seen Resurrection F yet. I have to wait till it hits the States, and I think August it comes out over here. And that's just in theaters, so I possibly have to wait until it comes on DVD. Or I can go to the theater to see it. If it's playing at my local theater, I could possibly be able to go. Then I can get a review out to you guys for that. For Resurrection F, because I missed Battle of the Gods, man, and I made a video on it, but it barely got any views. But anyway, the point is that we got a new Dragon Ball series back, and since we got Toonami back recently, guys, you can air it every Saturday. Okay, new episodes comes out Sunday in Japan. The episodes get subbed, or you can, Funimation can dub them. Because you still have the English voice actors, they're still alive. You can do that and then air it on Saturday for that week after. That's all you gotta do, and that way you can run it in syndication with the Japanese show in case people want to go for it. I would say let them get about 50 episodes in and then release an English edition of Dragon Ball Super. That would be fantastic. But for the most part, in the first episode, nothing really happens. It's kind of... They seem to be going down this road, and Toriyama said it's going to get more interesting as he introduces more alternate universes and stuff like that. That's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for that. But the first episode, it's mostly just a lot of talking. It's kind of like how Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods was. And the reason why I like that so much that I watched it 3 freaking times in a row. That's how much of a freaking Dragon Ball fanatic I am. I watched it 3 times in a row. Once in Japanese, once in English, and once with my friend and his wife. So it's like... So they have this theme going of... There's a lot of talking and some bit of action mixed in, which is kind of different from the older Dragon Ball Z, which did have a lot of talking, but also had a lot of action in it. And what they talked about was very crucial to the plot and everything. Here is just them just kind of, relaxing. It is a time of peace, so that does make sense. And like Toriyama said, this is like the aftermath of the Buu fight and everything, so everyone's just kind of relaxing and stuff. It's like years or so after, a couple years after. That's fine. That is fine that is, but, I just hope there's a little bit more action down the line. It's nice to see the characters, though. I would say it is nice to see the characters just breathe and relax and just have fun with whatever they're doing. Just going on with their daily lives. I kind of like that. Gohan is still a nerd. Goku's struggling to get a job. He just came into a lot of money at the end of the episode, which was fine with Chi-Chi. It was actually a pretty good ending to this episode. Beerus, the God of Destruction, and Whis is also in the series too. Thank you for putting those two in the series. I love those two from Battle of the Gods. And Beerus, of course, doing his thing. He's blowing up planets that he doesn't like. It's that sort of thing. So, I look forward to more episodes. I like the first episode, and we need an English release for this, guys. I need to do a freaking petition, and I don't have a pen. I need to do a petition in order to say, okay, we need an English release for this. Let's petition this right now. Okay, somebody make a petition somewhere, and I'll sign on for it. All right, but that's about it. If you want to check out Dragon Ball Super, there's a link in the description box to the episode. Go check it out. Tell me what you think. If not, that's fine. You just wanted to click on this video to see what it was about. That's fine too. So until then, I actually talked a little bit too much on this. And how can I not? It's Dragon Ball Z. Okay, so guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.